And hello again, welcome. I hope this is the last video I make with X-Plane 1051. Hoping that we get X-Plane 11 soon. This is Gold Beach in Oregon. That's the mouth of the Rogue River down there. And that is the Beech Baron with the Reality Expansion Pack from Simcoders, which makes for a realistic flight model and realistic engine modeling and damages and all sorts of stuff. We're going to fly just up the coast today to Bowerman in Washington, KHQM, and give it a go. I'm just eager for any chance at all to fly this magnificent airplane. So we are going to get ready to go. So I'm just going to prime the engine here. And I'm going to turn on the avionics just so that I can see the fuel flow. Okay, that pops up. That's done. And that pops up and peaks, and that is done. Off can come that, and our throttles can come about a half an inch open, and we will get number 2 started first. Just bring down the revs a little bit. And we'll start up number 1. The Reality Expansion Pack, if you're new to it, fixes the flight model, fixes the engine modeling, improves the damage modeling, adds a walk-around mode. It's really quite nice, the whole thing. And we'll bring this down as well. Let's get them idling at about the same thing here. Get our panel lights on. And turn on our avionics. Pardon me. Still getting over a little bit of bronchitis, I guess you'd say. And I'll try to get rid of this yoke. There we go. We're going to be flying at 10,000 feet. Should do it. Should keep us high enough to be efficient and low enough not to need oxygen. And let's get our sweet behinds up there. I hate that about the scroll wheel. Alright. Anyway, we're not going to be using these. Instead, we're going to be using this, which is, of course, the Garmin Touch Navigator here. Brought to you in this case by Reality XP. And I'm just going to put in a bogus squawk code here. Done and done. And we'll just build a little flight plan here. We're not at 5S6, although it's a pretty good guess. We are at, as a matter of fact, 4S1, so we'll just remove that and add that. And again, the great thing about this is that it is all done by touch. S and 1 here. Can't find it. Let's see. So, nope. Let me get out of that. Cancel. And I'll bet you the way the database does it is K for S1, even though that's really no damn good. For S1, come on. call it this, and that's where we are. So we'll create it, and that's fine. And never mind where we are. There are no procedures, really, strictly speaking, where we are. There are no obstacle departure procedures. There are no instrument procedures, as far as I can tell. But we are going to go to the ledge waypoint. So get that in there. The 750 is better than the 650 in that it is larger and you don't have to hang on, just get that right. Scroll that proportionally by hitting shift and dragging it. You don't have to click the range of keys here to get to them because all of them are up. Ledge, and it knows that. Enter. And then we should get onto an airway, but first let's just get rid of that disclaimer. Done. And load airway. Look at that. It already knows we are on the V27, or ledges on the V27, and we want to take that all the way to through North Bend, through Janus, through Newport, all the way to through Astoria, and all the way to HQM. Magnificent. Now let's see if it's there. Alphabetical order. And look at that. HQM. Done. Load that. And you notice that you can see all the points along the way that we had on our map. But in this case, you can either collapse them or you can leave them open. So I can go like this and collapse it, collapse all airways, and that just gives us the airway and then the exit point. But if you want, you can do that, and you can uncollapse it, and again, you can see all the points, which is great. But we will collapse it because that's fine. We don't need anything more than that. And when we get to HQM, we want to actually go to K, H. This thing is just an absolute pleasure. H, Q, and M. Done. Bowerman. That's good. We can add a procedure, and let's load a procedure and approach. And let's see where the wind is. I suspect it is from 060, which means that we're going to have, oh good, the weather's nice and gnarly. Good, yeah, 060, so we will load the, well, I guess it's an RNAV approach. Let's give it a try. It's an LPV approach, as a matter of fact. Load approach, done, and back, and actually the procedure we want is, let's see if we have HQM. Let's see, Wavlu, Higda, Zalu. Let's find the right one. All right. RNAV, GPS, runway 6. It's got 300-foot minimums, or minima. And we can actually do Wavlu. Let's do Wavlu, and that'll be before HQM, so we'll do Wavlu. And load it, and come up here, and we can get rid of HQM. We don't need it. HQM, done. Alright, let's see. Uncollapse. Let's just see where it ends us right now. OTH, Janus, Kokla, Qtel, Astoria, Pugic. Let's see where Pugic is. And it would be nice if my Sky Vector map were still there. All right, let's see. There's Wavlu. There's pardon me, Pugic. Okay, that's good. So it'll end us here. Transition to the approach here. Go to there, turn there, done, and done. All right. Get rid of that, get rid of that. And let's check our altimeter here. Okay, we don't have a weather station there. We have one where? Well, it's, you know, we're going to have to cheat, so we're going to have to figure out what the airfield elevation is and then work backwards. Elevation 19.8. And all right, so it's right about there, which means that the pressure is 29.0 something. All right, cool. All right, beacon nav, stroll, taxi, turn on our taxi light, and check our temps, make sure we're good. Okay, temps are in the green, fuel is checked on both sides. At this point, I think we can go taxiing here. Okay, fuel selectors on both, flight plan loaded. There we go, back map. There we go. And, you know, I don't know about the weather here. Where can we find a little bit of neighboring weather? There ain't nothing much there. Let's see where the nearest, well, the nearest weather station is about 75 miles to the south. Wind is negligible either way. All right, so we'll gamble on that. We'll take a look at the windsock and see where things are heading. Is there a windsock there? No, there is not. Is there a windsock there? No. Oh, wait, hold on. I see one. I see one there. Alright, so we should be taking off on this end. Runway 16. Done and done. This thing makes such a glorious noise. Let me just see if I can get everything mixed right. Bring this down a little bit. We don't need all the clicking. I just got a new little desktop amplifier for $199, and I'm not entirely sure how well it is working, so pardon me. And my rudder pedals are sitting on a piece of scrap carpet pad, and it for some reason has decided to get just a little bit slippery in its late middle age. So there we go. And we'll just set the trim as well. That's way too far aft. That should do us about right. All right, we've got 3 passengers on board with us and about 70 pounds of luggage and enough fuel to get us from here to Siberia, more or less. Let's get our runway heading bugged up just in case. And let's go flying. The ground friction on this is very nice. The brakes are nice. The sounds are nice. I've never flown a Baron in real life, but they're supposed to be, other than the fact that they gobble fuel, they're supposed to be pretty cool. And these days, however, because they cost about as much as a turboprop single, I think a lot of people are opting for the turboprop single. Maybe that's unfortunate. I don't know. Alright, so we'll turn off the taxi lights, turn on the landing lights on both sides, get those strobes going. We don't need any ice protection at the moment, although we want pitot heat, and I'm not sure why the right one is not modeled, but alright, whatever. We'll do a run up here. And we'll exercise the props. Get some oil flowing into them. And we'll do a mag check here. If I can do it without shutting down the engines. Okay, we got our drop there. Slight drop there. Alright, all is apparently well, which is good. Rudder trim is neutralized. Yes, it is. That's right down there. Aileron trim is neutralized, and that is fine too. Altitude is armed. Turn our heading mode on and turn our flight director on. Why the hell not? And also want to make sure that we are in GPS mode, and we are, and that is good too. Alright, so let's get the hell out of Dodge. Okay, let's see, where were we? Oh yeah, X-plane crashed and melted down on me, so I think we'd just done our run-ups. We're back on runway 16. I think we're ready to go. Let me just check our trim here. That's about right. Our flaps are set. One stage. Prop sync is off. Avionics on. Alternators on. Prop pitot heat is on. Forgive me. Nav panel landing. Beacon strobes on. Taxi lights off. Parking brake off. Fuel selectors both. Rudder trim neutral. Props full fine. Mixture full rich. Squawking. Altitude. Alright, we're good to go. And this is a pretty short runway, so we will get a move on here. And away we go. Positive rate, gear identified, and up. Yes. Alright, flaps can come up. We'll pitch for about 110. And we'll start our turn. Adjust our throttles a little bit. And we'll take advantage of the very nice performance of these twin Continental engines here. 12 cylinders between the two of them. And we will plop ourselves into nav mode. And it'll get us on course. And we'll say goodbye to Gold Beech right there. And we'll manually spin our course around because I don't think I remember to slave it to the did not remember to slave it to the GPS, but we're good anyway. 3,000 feet. And we'll bring our props down. 225 for the climb. And adjust them a little bit till we sync them up. There we go. Right about there. And we'll flip into prop sync here. We're climbing a little slowly and we're flying a little bit quickly, so what I'll do is I'll take advantage of the really nice flying characteristics of this plane, just ease it into a bit more of a climb. Again, I'm just flying the flight director here and flying the HSI. Going to trim a little bit more nose up here so I can just come off the controls a bit, and then I'm just going to take advantage of the fact that this plane hand flies like a dream. Got a little bit of droning going on, but the props are close. I'm going to turn on the prop sync now. That should help. And just climb a little bit faster here. That's about right. What I will do is I will set a vertical speed in here of about 1,200, 1,300 feet per minute. And now the flight suggester will give us that guidance. Okay, our altitude is armed. We're in vertical speed mode, but we're flying the airplane at the moment. So as long as I fly the flight director here, you'll notice my vertical speed stays at about 1,300 feet per minute. As soon as I come up on it there we go. And I'm on our route, which you can see right there. And I would turn on the autopilot, but it's just too damn nice to fly this. We'll turn on the yaw damper though. A little more comfort and a little bit less rudder work. And trim up a bit more. And a bit more. And flaps are up. Lights are off. Yep, climbing a little too fast there. There we go. Got a finicky Thrustmaster at the moment. It's a little bit noisy. Alright, we're at 6.2, heading for 10. And as you can see, it's a little bit misty here today. I hope it gets a little bit more scenic. Bring the props back a bit more. Resync them a little bit if I can. Alright, prop sync has caught them. That's good. And I'm just trying to stay trim here. Notice we've got a little bit of left to right wind. Let's see how much. A little bit from our rear quarter over about there, giving us a shove. Alright, we're 7 for 10. And I mean, with this plane, you'd be content just to fly the whole thing yourself the entire way. It is really that pleasant. And the sounds are great. And the physics just feel wonderful. I think my props are about 100 RPM slow, but it's too nice to worry about. And there is the beautiful Oregon coast. And we're basically just heading up it. This is the sort of place I wish I lived. The frame rates here, by the way, are pretty damn good. We're running 4K on a 1080, and doing okay. My settings are, at the moment, I've got anti-aliasing off except FXAA, which just basically blurs things a little bit. And I'm not well, I'm running about medium roads, no, heavy roads and medium traffic on the roads, and HDR rendering, and HD Mesh version 3, although as we get further up here, it'll be the, I think it'll be the Ultra HD Mesh when we get to Bowerman. So it's very nice. It's not ortho scenery, at least not this far north it's not, although I'm going to work on building some. It's hard to worry about it when it looks as good as this without the ortho scenery. Alright, we're 600 away. So I'm just going to turn on the autopilot at this point, and it should not ought to have done that, but it gets a little bit frisky. And make sure everything else is Jake. Fuel flow, fine. Fuel quantity, fine. Pressures, fine. Temps, fine. Have to lean out a little bit. You see how rich we're running right here? So I'm just gonna nudge the mixtures back just a little bit until we get a little bit rich of peak. This engine doesn't like running lean of peak. That should do it. All right. And our props we should bring back ever so slightly. To about 22. See if the prop sync catches it. This is a prop sync meter, or a synchro phaser. And when you're out of sync one way or the other, it'll rotate one way or the other. Also, you can hear the thrumming though. Those are technically called beat frequencies. So if this is going at 2300 and this is going at 2350, then it produces the intermodulation between the two wavelength sounds, produces well, basically aliasing or collisions between the two, and so you get a beat. And it's it's the same principle that violinists use to tune their instruments. They'll play a certain note on two notes on two strings at the same time, and then tune it until the wah goes away, and then they'll know that they're in tune. It's pretty cool, but we're not that good. But here, let me turn off prop sync and show you. So we turn off the prop sync, and you notice it's like, so listen to that intermodulation, and I'm going to adjust the one the other way. Okay, now I'm going to just tweak them until they go away. See? On the other hand, I go like this. The other one. And we'll just bring that back until the beat frequencies go away. And now we'll just turn on the prop sync to lock them up. But you can't use the prop sync to get two engines that are radically out of sync back together. You can only use them to sort of lock in when you get within about 50 RPM. All right, let's see. Lights. We're good. I guess we could turn the oxygen on. We're not quite high enough, but why risk it? Just adjust our rudder trim a little bit here. And I also wonder why we are not going that fast. And I know I put the gear up, and it should be up, and our flaps are up. Let's just see. Our gear is up. Alright, so let me just pour on a little bit of power here. We're at a kind of low speed cruise. So we'll do about 25 by 22. And that should get us right about up into the 165s, 170s. Alright, we are on our airway. As you can see, we're getting that rear quartering wind here. Coming up on ledge. And we're going over the ground at 173. So we're making good speed here. Alright, that doesn't work very well. The scroll wheel doesn't work well. Alright, there we are. We're getting on. Yeah, you see this should scroll us out, but it does sort of in and out. There we are. And we are making our way up the coast here. That's pretty. You know, for basically automatically generated scenery using land class data, that's pretty damn good. And that is not at all unrepresentative of what the area really looks like. That is just beautiful. And look at those hills. That's the coastal range there, I think. I don't know for sure. Let's see what that is down there. Lovely. Alright, now we're creeping up in speed. That's what we should be doing. Just adjust our mixtures ever so slightly. Check our temps here, make sure we're not... we're a little bit high on the EGT, at least on the number 1 engine. And you notice that the engines, each one has its own personality. They are ever so slightly different in temps. And actually we're just lean of peak, so we should probably richen that up ever so slightly. There we go. That should do it. And we will see our EGT come down. It's our cylinder head temps. That's fine. This is a little bit on the high side, but there's no upper limit. Fuel flow is, you know, not wonderful, but 17 per side, so that's 34 or 35 right here. And we've got close to 80 gallons, 75 gallons, so we have got at this point about 70 gallons left. Allowing for reserves, we've got 60 gallons left, and 60 gallons will be another 2 hours and change of flying, so we're good to go. Because we're not going to be flying for 2 hours, at least not if I can do anything about it. I need to get some sleep. And of course SkyMax is loading weather. The real weather confector there is doing its thing. Needs a little bit of right rudder trim here, as you can see. There we go. That'll eliminate a little bit of drag, and will help us burn a little bit less fuel. Let's see what it has to say. 237. No, that's not right. Our desired track is 347, which is more like it, and that's more like the way we're going. And we've got 187 knots on the ground, 15-ish from over yonder. And now our trim is a little bit untrimmy. But we're looking good. It's a little bit deceptive, the horizon here, because this glare shield is not symmetrical. So, yeah. when it comes to the horizon, it's a little bit unreliable. Nice view, though. Let's see what kind of frames we're getting up here. And again, this is 4K. We're getting 49, 50 frames, so that ain't bad. And is this the mouth of the Columbia River? Could it possibly be? Let's find out. Coming up on Olean, and Olean gets us right there, and that is North Bend. And that is the South Fork of the Coos River. That's the Umpqua River. That's the next bay. And then the Siuslaw River. And we are a ways away from the Columbia. That is the mouth of the Columbia. That will be the last big river we cross before we get to Bowerman. And Bowerman is simply an inlet. Pardon me. That is the Nehalem River, and Nehalem is one of the rivers Intel used to name a chipset after. I don't know why I remember that. I think they named a chipset after Tillamook also. They also make a very good cheddar cheese that's named after Tillamook. I don't know, they make lots of good things there. And of course, way up there is the mouth of the Strait of San Juan de Fuck You. And that is, of course, where Puget Sound feeds into, and where Seattle is, and where Vancouver is over here. Two of the nicest spots on the planet. And there, right there, is a nice looking airfield, which is, I think that's KOTH, which would be Southwest Oregon Regional. Let's see if that's the correct one. Yes, it is. That is the runway layout, and that looks pretty damn beautiful. There's the sectional. So we're basically right here. That's North Bend. That's where we should be. So we'll see North Bend, we'll see Florence, we'll see Newport, Lincoln, which is where I spent a really, really, really nice couple days on the seashore here. The ocean here is totally wild. It's also near where Haystack Rock is, which is a really famous, well, here, let me show you. Cannon Beach is what it is, and that over there is Haystack Rock, and it is beautiful. What you don't see is, because there's a logging industry there, and there's some logs get loose and float downstream, they wash back up on shore, and they can be a hazard to people swimming. So they warn you to look out for logs. I don't know how you look out for logs in the water, but as you can see, let's see if we can find some. Well, there's, you see, that's some small stuff, and those aren't exactly logs, but I mean literally cut lumber or cut trees come drifting up. Well, there's a big one that just came up. But you can tell because the ends are neatly sawed off, so there. I mean, it's just kind of unreal. And I wouldn't have believed if I hadn't seen it myself. Oh, here. So I mean, look, this is, if you're not careful, you will get hit by this. And you can see it's sawed off there. So these, I gather, or some of them at least, not this, because these still have branch. Here, look. I mean, that is clearly been sawn or sawed, and it breaks loose from the pack, floats down river, floats out to sea, and then comes slamming back on shore to clobber you. And there are signs up that say, you know, hey, warning, try not to get hit on the head by logs floating in. It is, as Johnny Carson would say, or he would say if he weren't dead, all that is wild and weird stuff. All right, so we're coming up on our next river mouth here, which I suspect is Gardner right there. There should be a little bend and an elbow right there, and there's our bend and our elbow, and a branch off this way. Yes, and that's this fork of the Smith River. That's the Umpqua River. All right, good. Navigating by looking the hell around. So Umpqua River, Smith River. We really should also be keeping our eye out for airports around. Let's see, I don't want the overlay. I want the map detail. Airports. Yes. Heliports. Don't want. Safe taxi. I do. Runway center lines. Can we make it any longer than that? No. Okay, that's fine. Intersections. Fine. 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 Good. All right, let's see some airports here. These are, of course, intersections. Don't care. All right, one off to our 4 o'clock, which is getting a little late for me. Let's see if we can see it. I suspect it's right there. And this is Interstate 5 here. I've never driven up here. I've only driven out from Portland to Cannon Beach. Boy, I'd like to do the trip like from Los Angeles all the way up to Seattle on 101 some of the way, some of the way, and Interstate 5. That would be way too beautiful. All right, next landmark. Sitkus Lake. And Sitkus Lake is that thing right there. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then we should fly right over top of Florence Airport, which should be right about there in the haze. Keep our eye on all of this. Let's see if we can get our weather in Bowerman. See where the wind's coming from. Okay, still at 060, so our approach is still pretty valid. Nice, nice and nice. Let's see if we can get a preview of Bowerman Airport. I've flown into the freeware Orbix version. I think I've got a version in here as well. Let's see what it really looks like. Well, oddly enough, it looks like the Orbix version. Look at that. That is gorgeous. It's on a nice peninsula, or as the British would say, a peninsula. So I can get a bigger picture, though. I don't want it from Flight Simulator, for God's sake. Get a large one in there. Well, see, that's what the Orbix one looks like, and it looks pretty good. But I really don't want to see what the simulated one looks like. I want to see what the real one looks like. That is wild. There is every single possible simulated version of this airport listed for the images, and there isn't a real one. I'm beginning to think the airport might not really exist. Alright, is that a real one? Yes, alright, thank goodness. That's a real one. And look at the logs all drifting up here. Look at that. This must be like Driftwood, capital of America. And there's the little terminal, and the little snack bar is over here. It's a good length runway. It's about, what, 6,500 feet? And it's got an ILS on this end, and we're going to fly in on the GPS on this end. But it is, shall we say, well endowed. Alright, so right now... Okay, there is our next landmark right there. That is... That should be Newport. No, you know what? That could be... That's Florence. Yeah, that's Florence. Right at the neck of the river right there. And let's see what Newport, the facility, looks like. I mean, they're all good for us to land. Question is whether any of them is good in bad weather, because theoretically the weather is actually bad, but SkyMax is not drawing it that far away. Alright, we do have an ILS for runway 16 here, in case we have to divert with reasonable minima. So that's good. Let's just check our fuel burn. And our temps. Okay, fuel flow is good. That is good. Cylinder head temps are fine. And our ground speed should be in the 180 knot range, 188. So now we've got 16 coming from about that way, across this way. So actually our course is 349, right about there. And our heading is right about there. All right. I have not done a GPS approach yet in one of these things with this, so we'll see how well it works. Should be fine. Shouldn't be a problem. Pardon me, I'm choking down a little bit of heartburn medicine right now. Had a big old 18-pound butt steak for dinner. That's what any real man would have. Sweet and meaty. Oh, hello. Hi. Wow, look at that. That is Oregon all the way. Or Washington State. Beautiful. Okay. Yes, I'm that grungy guy right down here somewhere who somehow disappeared. It's like your lap. It's the one thing on your body that's there when you sit down and is gone when you stand up. In case you want to win a bar bet with that, although you probably just get your lights punched out if you try that on somebody. You bet $50 on that, and it's a trick question, and next thing you know, well, you go to brush something off your cheek and you realize it's the floor. So, probably a bad thing. Let's turn on our prop anti-ice. Let's see. Yes, our temperatures are right around the frosty point. So, we'll fuel vent, windshield, and yada, 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 yada. Where the hell is our prop? Anti-ice is right there. Alright, we're not going to do our wings yet, I don't think. I don't know whether this models visual icing on here. I can't tell. So, we'll wait for signs that we're falling out of the sky, and if we do happen to see them, then we'll take measures to not fall out of the sky. Alright, coming up on Janus. Pardon me. Okay, Ledge, Gamma, Bosby, Janus. So we're just short of Newport. And let's just tune in Newport at 117.1. Hate when that happens. Let's get us into nav radio mode right there. Now watch what this thing does. It identifies it. Look at that. Isn't that something? But we really don't want it in nav 1. We want it in nav 2. So it's that's kind of a dumb thing to do. We'll get that tuned up right there. And we'll do this the old-fashioned painful way, which is like so. And get that into nav 2 right there so we can get a little bit of situational awareness. Let's see if we're on the right radial. And boy howdy, I do believe we are. Yep, within reason we are. There we go. Trying to get that. Alright, there we go. Yes, we are. 2 on the 350 radial and Yeah, that is exactly where we should be, so we're good. And the DME on nav 2, nav 1, nav 2. There we go. This is painful getting there. Okay. I'm not sure why this is showing 19.6 on one of them. Hang on. Alright, well, it's a little funky. Alright, 18 away. Janice. Yeah, we should be right about there-ish. Maybe just about there. Hold on, let's see. Are we just short of Janice? Yes, we are. Okay, so 18. That's 17. There's Janice. So we're right here. Alright. I'm not quite as fried as I thought I was. And by that I don't mean inebriated, I just mean tired. If I were inebriated, I'd be flying a higher performance airplane, obviously. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. So apparently, SkyMax 4 is coming out shortly, and of course they promise, like they always do, that this time it's different. And this time it's better. I'm sure it's better. As for different, who knows? As for as good as, say, Active Sky, probably the answer is never. And some of it, I gather, is just the result of limitations in X-Plane. Only permits 3 cloud layers at the moment. I don't know if it's going to permit more in 11, but you can have, I think, an arbitrarily large number of cloud layers in FSX and Prepared. However, you'll pay for it in performance. So in reality, you can have 5, maybe 6, and apparently that lets them model some complex systems a little bit better. But I don't know. I've read all kinds of different things about the peculiarities of X-Plane's cloud modeling and how they do it, and of course, naturally, how it's better. But it's not really better. It sucks. And it's one of the things I guess they'll work on. There are many things that are wonderful about X-Plane. Cloud modeling and weather modeling is probably not one of them, and it's a shame because one of the good purposes to using a flight simulator is practicing stuff that has to do with IFR procedures rather than VFR flying necessarily. So that would be nice. Alright, we are going nicely, and we are just coming up on Newport. So we are clipping along here. There's Newport. Pardon me. And we are getting there. Let me just see if we can do a little descent planning here. It's in the utilities function, vCalc, target altitude. Let's see, we want to be 3,000 at Wavlu. Get our plate up. Yeah, 3,000 before Wavlu. And Wavlu, target altitude, we'll make it 2600. Alright, we're 30 miles till TOD, or we can descend now at a very, 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 very low rate of speed. And we're just going to target. Let's see, we'll be grounding at about 170. We'll target 900 and we'll just come screaming out of the sky. Pardon me. It will not display a message, at least on this version. I don't know whether it does in the real thing. Whether it flashes a display message that says, "Okay, buddy, descend now," but it doesn't on this, at least not at the moment. So we will screw that and look at some of these bays and inlets here. Alright, that now, is that Newport already? I think it is. Is there one airport just shy of Newport? No, I believe that's Newport. Let's just see what it looks like. Let's see. Looks like that. And ladies and gentlemen, that is Newport. Okay. And there is the infamous runway 16 with the ILS if we need it. This is an early Coronado model, so these are not 4K textures, but it still looks pretty damn nice. Excuse me. I hope Simcoders gets around to doing a reality expansion pack to a big pressurized twin, or the TBM 850. That would be fun. Although the TBM 850's got G1000 avionics, which are lovely in real life, but are really annoying to work in an in a simulated plane because of all the mouse twiddling. I wish X-Plane 11, instead of improving these and building their own G1000, if they instead did these, because these work on mouse clicks. And your muscle memory is exactly the same as in the real thing, because basically you're either clicking with a mouse or you're clicking with your finger. Whereas on these things, what you're doing is you're diddling with a mouse knob click thing. And in real life, when you just reach out and grab these, although they have their quirks, they're really perfectly fine. And you get muscle memory. You don't develop muscle memory from twiddling these knobs, so for whatever that's worth. And that's some sponge-worthy screenshot material there, isn't it? That is nice. Let's get a little screenshot here. There we go. There's one. Push in a little. A little bit of headroom here. Get a little bit of light on the wings. Get rid of that aliasing by zooming in a little bit. Done. Okay. Nice. So we've got our ice protection on. Make it a little bit more comfy in the cabin, though. Okay, all is well. Fuel quantity is fine. Temps are okay. Looking good. Let's see if we can eke a little more speed out of this bad boy. I don't think we can. It's going to bring the props back. Well, no, the props are right about where they should be. Alright, not much more we can do. But let's see if we can bring our fuel burn down just a little bit by leaning out just a touch. Nah, it's probably a little bit on the hot side. Alright, coming up on Kukla. And you see our weather just goes away, so... Okay. There's Newport, there's Kukla. Alright, now we are really making some time here. And that would be Kukla's right there. Alright, so that is Kernville. And actually we're coming up on, we're coming up on Cloverdale, which is another code name for Intel, another architecture. And there's Cannon Beach, Tillamook Head. Yeah, I was in Seaside and Cannon Beach. In Seaside, I am not kidding, or maybe it's Cannon Beach, there is a restaurant, I can't even make this up, but, well, let's just say there are a lot of very nice people there, but there are also a lot, there are a whole lot of white people, and without taking this the wrong way, it is a pretty much of a monoculture. So I don't think it would occur to the people living there that it would be a bad idea to call a restaurant, geez, I can't believe I'm saying this, Sambo's, but let me see if it's still there. Or it's actually called Little Sambo's, I think it is. Sambo's Restaurant, Oregon. Yep, Little Sambo's Family Restaurant, Lincoln City. It's a lovely restaurant. Had a great breakfast there. Here it is. I believe it's named after the tiger in some Rudyard Kipling thing, but as you well know, here we go. Oh, lovely. Oh no, this is about the whole restaurant chain. And when I was growing up, there was a restaurant. well, actually, you know what? Here. Sambo was the story of Little Black Sambo, 1899 children's book by Helen Bannerman about a dark-skinned South Indian boy who eventually came to be seen as emblematic of black stereotypes. Anyway, the restaurant chain was named Sambo's, and of course there was an outcry. And it became later became known as Family Sam's, which of course didn't quite go over well or poorly. But you know, anyway, and all sorts of other things. Little Brave Sambo instead, and all kinds of ways to, well, you'll forgive me, whitewash it. But oh, here. Second location opened in Sacramento, 1958. 4 more California branches, 59, late 63. 20 Sambos on the West Coast, including 3 in Oregon. Now, I don't know whether this particular Sambo's is part of the original Sambo's, and I certainly wouldn't want to tar it with. But, yeah, let's see. Yeah, well, here we go. Sambo's axle grease, Sambo's smoking tobacco, Sambo's pancakes, and then it became No Place Like Sam's, which, of course, you know, it didn't really matter. I mean, it was the chain was you know, it was a chain restaurant. The little Sambo's I ate at up there was perfectly fine, and actually this is what they're known for, and the breakfast was very good. I will say the whole thing was immensely interesting, I guess. Wait, here. You know, I shouldn't be potentially libeling them. I should just look at their own thing and see whether it was part of the chain. Ah! Aha! 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 Okay. They borrowed it from the same Helen Bannerman story, which was widely decried as being loaded with racial stereotypes, although it probably wasn't in 1899, but it certainly is now. But they were never part of the chain. All right, well, that answers that. So I don't want to besmirch them by associating them with a mediocre chain of pancake restaurants. Instead, they are their very own pancake restaurant. But named after the same offensive book. So, anyway, I ate there, oh my goodness, must be at least 10 years ago. And again, as I say, I had a good meal. And none of the 100% white people who were there at the time seemed to have a problem with the name, but, you know, who knows? It seems like a dumb thing to cling to, but heavens knows I cling to all sorts of dumb things myself, so I'll hold my tongue. Alright, we're coming up on Tillamook, which would be right there. Let's just say I'm probably not going to be stopping at Little Sambo's to get breakfast anytime soon, but, you know. You see, somebody else stopped there when they were on their way to Pig and Pancake. Now, Pig and Pancake sounds like a goddamn good name for a restaurant, especially for breakfast, my God. any pork products and any pancakes and any maple syrup whatsoever, and by that I mean real maple syrup, is a very good thing. Sorry, I'm insatiably curious here. And naturally, in the story in the Restauranting Through History website, is a whole string of vituperative and borderline venomous comments, of course. Oh, I love it. Yeah, apparently also Sambos came from the acronym or the combination of the first letters and the last name of the two founders of the original chain, and somebody raises the rather good point. Consider this, Ms. Jewell and Mr. Boyden could combine their names into Jew Boys. I don't think I'd, well, you know, if the pastrami sandwiches were good, I'd eat at a Jew Boy's any day, but then again, I say that as a lapsed Jew boy. You know, guess I'm trying to renew my smart aleck Jewish guy card. Anyway, let's see if we can see Tillamook now that we've well and truly digressed into the realm of restaurants, racial politics, and really stupid names. Let's see where we are with respect to our descent as well. Although you could easily argue that we've descended already. All right, we're 19 minutes away. Looking good. I don't know why. That restaurant visit just stuck with me. It just blew me away that anybody would use that name in any modern day and age, but I should learn not to be surprised by anything. All right, there's Tillamook Airport right over there. Good to know. We are on track, and we're 51 miles past Newport VOR, and let's tune in. I don't think we can, well, we might be able to receive, yeah, let's tune in HQM. And that ain't it. That's north of us. HQM 117.7. Bloop. Alright, that still seems like we're going away from it, and that is the wrong station. Oh, wait a minute. On nav 1. Alright, there we go. Now we're good. Yep. Okay, 88 miles away. Dead bang on track. Good to go. Let's see our weather. Has it deteriorated? The winds have kicked up a little bit. 3001. Let's get some local altimeterage. Astoria 3001. Alright, we're reasonably close to that anyway. No, we're not. There we go. And our ground speed now is close to 190, it should be. $188, looking good. And still from offshore, which makes eminent sense. Eminent sense, makes a lot of sense. Got some nice reflections here. Nice looking stuff, nice texturing. I know you can't tell, but we've got 2 people here, and about 50 pounds of cargo in the back. Alright, 15 away from TOD. And we still have our ice protection on. Let's just see what the air temperature outside is. Yes, the air temperature is deep in the heart of, oh my god, you're going to build up ice on the surfaces. Alright, 81 away from our the VOR, where we're going to basically turn final. So we are looking good today, Taco. And got an overcast on top now. Very cool. Now, how much you want to bet we hit birds on the way in? I can feel that one coming. I can definitely feel that one coming. Okay, both tanks are on. That is right. 78 miles away. Yeah, I tend to forget we don't have an RMI in here. I'd like to have an RMI in here. That would be fun. That would be nice. We have an ADF, but that's it. An RMI would be nice. But I guess, I'm trying to think where they would put it. That's our standby DG. Standby ADI. I guess you could put it right here. That's probably where I'd put it. Or I'd put this down here and put the RMI up here. That would be much nicer. Nicer still, I'd put the fuel flow here and here, move nav 2 down here, put the RMI here. Oh, there you go. Now that we're doing interior decorating. On the whole, I'm not sure how well I'd like flying this airplane myself, because it's, I'm tall, and it looks like, first of all, it looks like a pretty narrow cockpit. Well, I guess it looks to be about the same width cockpit as a Bonanza, which makes sense. These Barons actually used to have, some of them I've seen, either the B-55 or maybe the early B-58, had one of those Beechcraft central yokes, so instead of having 2 control columns, it had one and a crossbar, and then yokes mounted on either crossbar. So there'd be a big bar here and one central big ass control column, and then these two mounted off of each one. Can't imagine that was good for legroom. I guess when you go to Lincoln City to that pancake restaurant named after that children's story, you'd be wise not to fill up too much, lest you not fit in your airplane. Like how I deftly worked in the word lest. I like that. Very classy. Alright, 11 minutes from TOD. Or we could start going down now really slowly. I don't really want to go down slowly. I don't want to shock cool the engines. On the other hand, I don't want to linger in ice. And I am not in any respect a real-world bad weather pilot. I am barely a real-world student pilot, but from what I gather, you don't want to, in an airplane that's really, although it has boots and everything, these are ice prevention and emergency ice removal. You don't certainly want to fly into ice and tempt your fate. And the last thing you want to do is fly into dense, moist, supercooled clouds from altitude and just gently linger down in time for 15 tons of ice to build up on all your flight surfaces. So I might be wrong, but I gather in situations like that you either want to get above it quickly or you want to get below it quickly, but you don't want to linger in it forever, or at least that would stand to reason. Somebody feel free to correct me in the comments. Beechcraft pilot, and as a woman who weighed in here flies a Baron also, and with some good advice, so just let me know. I'm flying the magenta line here, so I'm not really flying this radial, but just nice to keep it there so that I have a backstop on where I am and how far away I am. And also, in case the GPS were to fail, I could switch this over to Nav 1, I could slave the autopilot to it, and I could just fly it in, and I'd basically be one right turn away from my either my GPS procedure, or in this case probably a plea for help in vectors to vectors or own navigation to the ILS coming in the other direction. The wind is not onerous, and the ceiling is high enough that you could either fly a visual approach or probably shoot the ILS approach and then circle, or even with the wind as it is, less than 10 knots, you could probably shoot the ILS approach and land. So here we go. We're coming up on Astoria and the mouth of the Columbia River. And now, in case you were wondering, is this really the Columbia River? And consider the other rivers we looked at. Now look at this big monster here. That is a big-ass river. And it winds all the way into British Columbia and all the way back down into Idaho. And Montana, I think. Idaho, I think. So it is magnificence personified. Just diddling very slightly with the rudder trim. We're getting blown a little bit from the left with the wind, which is why it calls for just a little bit of trimming. And that, dead ahead of us, is Astoria right there. which is as good a place as any to land, but we're not gonna. And for some reason, when it's raining, X-Plane will depict blowing snow on the ground, unless that is SkyMax, but whatever it is, it's goofy. But Astoria is a good airport to fly out of and to practice at because, and actually so is Bowerman, because, look at the mouth of that, because the weather is frequently foggy, and there's frequently a decent wind coming off the sea, and it's not fully surrounded by obstacles, and it's just nice. All right. See when it wants us to descend. 5 minutes from now. Very nice. Oh, look, and now all of a sudden we get weather. Alright, for some reason we're picking up ATIS all the way from Everett, Washington, which is the Boeing plant, the big Boeing plant at Payne Field. So I think we're too far away to be picking that up. We're right about here. And Payne Field is all the way, yeah, we shouldn't be picking up ATIS that far away. We are a big ass distance away. We're there, and Payne Field is way the hell up there in Everett, Washington. That is a big ass distance. So, well, so it's not totally realistic. No, just not do that. Alright, so this is basically our final little hop before we hit Bowerman. So we've just passed over the mouth of the Columbia. We're going to come over this peninsula into, I don't know how to pronounce it, whether it's Willapa or Willapa. I think it's probably Willapa Bay and Harbor, and then we'll skirt the shore again, and we'll begin our approach actually right here at Wavelu, and then we'll hook a right and come on in. We're at 44 away from basically our right hand base turn. And we'll see how well we can fly this arrival. I make no promises. Okay, I'm not going to activate it yet. I will activate it when we come just up on Wavelu. Alright, 3 minutes away from TOD. And we'll dial in 900 feet per minute, and we'll just see what it gets us. I'm going to let the speed come up to 180. And it'll probably call for a slightly higher descent rate at that point. Well, you know what, I'll probably have to slow down to 160 because it's probably calculating based on this ground speed right now. But let's see how well it works. I'm guessing it's calculating present ground speed. And we'll see also if it adjusts. So we're going to hit Pulley and Pudgic and then Wavlu. And we'll just see how well it does at GPS approach. I have no idea how well it's going to work. And I'm going to keep up the power, at least for a little while. Just so I don't overcool the engines over quickly. A minute away from TOD. And I should be looking out for traffic, but I know realistically we don't have any. Alright, down we go. $900, and we'll just manage our speed now. And we'll arm a new altitude, which is going to be, come on. Can I not? There we go. There we are. A little fast. A little bit of less than nimble fingers there on the knobs. Alright, there's 180. Come on. There we go. That is armed. Wants 988. There we go. Yeah, it's dynamically adjusting based on our ground speed by the looks of it. Here, let's experiment with it. Let's slow down. Yeah, now it's asking for less. Okay, we're past Pulley and then Pugic. We're established in a nice steady descent at a nice steady speed. And there is a strip we can land at if it all goes to shit. And we're going to jump out over that spit of water. And then once we get across that spit of water, we'll activate our approach, and that is our initial approach fix. Make sure we're not getting too lean here. Richen it out a little bit. Alright, there we go. We're through 8,000. I'm just going to turn off the oxygen. Turn on the landing lights before I forget. If I can reach them. And we're still a little below freezing, so I'm just going to keep our ice protection on momentarily. Pitot heat will stay on. And we're just locked in that nice descent, nice speed. There's 7. Let's see how far we have to go. 1.7 to Puget, and then on to the approach. So once we cross Puget, we'll activate the approach. And let's see if we can make a seamless transition here. And Puget should just be before we depart over that spit of land. Alright, we'll now activate the approach. Done. And done. And done. Alright, seems like the approach is activated, and I gather when we get here this will change to our approach phase. See how we stand on our descent profile. 930, so we're a little bit below profile. Make it 900 feet per minute. I hate how this doesn't display. And if you do, it zeroes it out. I just want to be able to see what I've got, although it's sort of silly. You can see what you got right here, but still. And I do like the 750 because you can get a better view of everything. So this is where we're going to go. That's our initial approach fix. There's our intermediate fix, and that's our turn. Let's get our approach up here. Lose the Sambos and the logs and the driftwood and all the other extraneous material. Straight ahead to Lamb. That should be in there. Let me double check. Yep, there's our missed approach point, and a hold is already in there. Hallelujah. Alright, that is really cool. Ah, and there's a hold built in here, too. Alright. Let's see how it flies it. Let us just see. So we come down to 1600 there. Very nice. Okay, let's see how it does. Let's see if it flies and sequences the hold all right. Straight ahead to Lamb. Terrain over here. Look at that. It's got the course reversal all set up. Very slick. Right turns. Alright, we're coming up on our floor right here. I'm going to let the speed bleed off. Our airport should be right there in the misty muck. Alright, returning to Wavlu. Now we're going to fly to our hold. That's a secondary airport right over there. I forget the name of it, but it's useful to know about. Did we arm our altitude? It should be armed. Please. There we go. Alright, we've acquired our altitude. We'll bring the props to full. And slow down. Adjust them a little bit. And we'll fly this hold. And what's our approach course? 061. You know what? We can keep the speed up here, right about there. A little bit bumpy. I don't know at what point you turn off prop sync. And we can descend in the hold. Look at that, a parallel entry. Look at that. And we can descend as soon as we get in the hold to 20 to 1,600 feet. All right, entering the hold. I think it's a 4-mile hold. It's probably way more than we need. And look at that, the hold is active now. Get our heading bug squared up. It's almost like flying an Airbus. Take advantage of our freedom here. Make sure we've got everything set up. Prop sync can come off. Sync up the props here. There we go. Descend at 500 feet per minute to 1,600 feet. That is armed. Around we go. Look at that, nice standard rate turn. All right, now I want to see when our simulated glide slope comes alive. I hope it does. Alright, so here comes our intercept. I'm just going to set, what is it, 061 is the inbound course. And lo and behold, that is the case. And you notice we're on a nice, clean intercept course. Intercept heading. And here it comes. Look at that. Neat as a button. And really what I'm doing is I'm watching this because I also want to see that at such and such speed it takes about so much time to start your turn, and I'm sort of learning from it. And we're coming up on 1600, and that is armed. Just want to confirm that. The yaw damper is still in. And I'm just waiting for this approach to identify or enunciate. I'll just slow down a bit here. I'm guessing that in 5 seconds this is going to switch to LPV. Yep, there we go. Look at that. Alright, now we should be starting to get some guidance here. I'm not going to hit approach until I see it start to enunciate. I'm just letting the speed come back ever so slightly here. Right about there. We're level 1,600 feet. We've got a decent size wind coming from right about there, which is fine. We are getting bumped. There's another strip right over there in case we need it. And we just crossed over the Bowerman VOR right there. Let's stay right above White Arc. There is our flight director guidance. And Judd says our final approach fix. I'm guessing that's where we're going to start to get glide slope. I sure hope so, because that's our runway. Alright, well maybe it isn't slaved in. So what I'm going to do, well let's give it a minute. Oh, there's our glide slope. Alright, look at that. Alright. I'm gonna slow down here. There we go. Get out a notch of flaps. Get down the gear. And think I'll just fly this. Keep it right about there. About 500 feet a minute. That's about right. Speed's about right. There we go. Just staying heads down here for the moment, 500 feet per minute. It says we're about a half a dot high. I don't think we are. Correcting a little bit for the wind. All right, 700 feet. Trimming a little bit. Still about a half a dot high. All right, 500 feet. All right, there we go. A little bit high. And look at our track from the wind. Here, let me just get my wing into it now. Got some obstacles there. Just going to trim up a little bit. Gear down, 3 greens, flaps full. Just come over these obstacles here. And we'll aim for the first touchdown markers. Walk the trim in a little bit. There we are. A little bit of a float. I know it says excellent landing, but that's largely bullshit. Shouldn't really land a plane like that. Let's get ourselves off the runway here. Nice looking airport here. Get a little bit lean here so I don't flood things out. Hey, really nice looking airport. And there's a little hamburger stand. Very nice flight. Nice little flight, nice plane. Love this plane. Nice looking wind too. All right, before we do anything else, let's see the replay here, because that's what we all live for, isn't it? Oh, good looking tower shot. Good. Alright, so you're gonna get to watch us float a little bit here. A little bit of correcting for the wind. And I was going a little fast. I was aiming a touchdown right there. I probably touched down right about there. Well, let's see. Yeah, flare too high. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. Oh, hello. You know what? I'm surprised I didn't strike a tail. Let's see. Let's just see how gruesome that was here. How nose up was I? You know, well, more nose up than I should have been, that's for damn sure. Let's see. All right, there, a touchdown. That's must have been the angle of the camera. Yeah, that's the ticket. It's the angle of the camera. Yeah. Let's try and get it there. Let's just... How badly did Gus screw the pooch? Let's see. Just a float. Not a tail scrape, just a float. Alright. Time now for the ever popular, all-powerful Hawaii 5-0 shot, of course. Alright, don't want to get landed on, but there we go. Nice sounds. There's the float. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Used every last bit of that runway, didn't I? Nah, not really. Yeah, what kind of shot this would be? Hey, that's pretty slick. I like it. Hang on. That's sort of like the helicopter shot. Very nice. This is like James Bond looking up on the airport from in Moonraker in Rio. Wow, bet you didn't know planes could float. Alright, well look, on that lovely note, let's leave it right there. And I will see you next time. In case I don't get a chance to post again before the holiday, have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody in the States and everybody else elsewhere. Try a little turkey with maybe some cranberry relish. It's a good habit to get into. And thanks as always for watching.